end, right? So there isn't that same reciprocity. So there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of confusion, and a lot more concern about, as opposed to inflation or deflation, where a lot more economists are talking about stagflation again.
All right, Lucy, your thoughts on this and how it will hit the average American in the pocket, if at all, or will he, like he said, make America wealthy again?
I think we will feel the difference right away. The cars are already increasing in price.
There was a run on cars last
Yes,
month as a result of what they anticipate.
And Isaiah, did you look at the stock market today? Did you look at the after-hour trading? It has crashed. We had a huge decrease in valuation today. So it will affect all of our 401k right away. But I have another question. Where's the money for the tariffs going to go to? It's going to go to the government. Are we going to see any of that money in the long run? Are our taxes going to get adjusted for this additional income that the government is collecting? I don't think so, at least not for now. And something else.
Originally it was a baseline because there were no income taxes in America.
Yes, but now the government is going to collect additional money, and I think they will probably not offset it with pass it on to the consumer with tax breaks, to the taxpayers with tax breaks. I think they're going to keep that money, and we will probably not see the benefits of it.
Go ahead.
Something else that bothers me, and you guys might appreciate this, I think that the government is, through executive orders, creating tax laws and avoiding the legislative process.
And that's what I was going to ask Dr. Von Biedenfeld. No. Can Congress intercede and say, look, nice try, but we don't want this? Or is this a power of the president?
No, at the end of the day, this should be a power of Congress, but they lack the TF, and I'll say the second part of that TF is fortitude, to really step in. So we've seen the Senate push back today, but they would still need House approval and presidential signature, which they're not going to get. So we've really found an inefficacy in our Article 1 and Article 3 branches to really create that co-equal discussion on what legislative, judicial rule of law and executive power should be. So it's really not working. And I'll agree as well that, and we see this with the tollways, right? As soon as we get the roads paid for, we're going to get rid of the tollways.
They never go away.
Yeah.
Go to that Metro office building, not picking on them, but that is a very clean building. It's got very nice elevators. The government never gives up a source of revenue. If you're not growing, you're dying, and that's a reality.
And Jonathan, as a taxpayer, as a consumer out there, are you looking for your cut as well if we're not only paying income tax, but we're also increasing these tariffs across the board?
Am I expecting a cut per se as a taxpayer?
Yeah.
No, not necessarily. I personally see this whole concept as a different view, and it says in there the golden rule in the White House statement online. And what about just no tariffs? Why is that not also a possibility? Why do we have to have unequal or even reciprocal? How about just stop and let's move toward this global economy we've been trying with the Globe tax and the OECD and all these other options to make it so that no matter where you are, you're going to pay the same tax. Don't choose to be based out of China. Don't choose to shop here. Just be equal. That's also a possibility. So if we don't like this war of attrition with tariffs, we can stop at any time.
All right. And Dr. Von Biedenfeld, also de minimis loophole, closing that. For those who don't know what that is, explain it.
Right. At the end of the day, we're talking about, look, it's a little more complex than your 5 minutes. And real quick,
You want more than 5 minutes?
I want more than 5 minutes. And I'll quickly point out that, you know, this challenge is, at what threshold do we have? So we've got this base 10, and then we add 24 here, and we add 34 here. We've got a number of areas where you've got to reach a certain threshold of imports or exports before you hit a tariff, a tariffable or taxable amount, a fee amount.
Many are below.
Most are below.
Yeah.
And so when we think about this, we're now imposing this 10% base tariff in a way that's unfair because no one else has done it. I mean, you've got hundreds of pages in this USMCA that Trump signed, the successor to NAFTA, where we carve out things for glazed pottery, unglazed pottery, goods that are assembled in the U.S., goods that are designed in the U.S., goods that are purely intellectually sold in the U.S. All of these carve-outs are now sort of lost in a very simplified version. And
we got some work to do. All right. I didn't mean to take your time. You're taking too much time.
Too much time.
Still to come here on The Factor at 11. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. More big news in Trump time out of Washington, D.C. Some news outlets are now reporting Elon Musk is eventually stepping away from Doge, the department designed to save money and rid the country of fraud and waste in the federal government. But is his department already on the timeline, or is he being told it's time to move on? Is he on that current timeline? As we've heard before, our guests are back. And just last week, I think March 24th, the president and Musk both said May, 130 days, and they said he could leave now in a couple of months. Would that be any different? Many people are comparing or taking a look at what happened in Wisconsin with the state Supreme Court, where he spent more than $20 million to get his candidate in, and that candidate lost. And so they're saying, well, this guy's trouble now. He's hurting the party. But aren't we on the timeline for him to leave anyway?
In a sense, the downside of this is we don't know how much of this is ego, because we recognize that, for example, our former governor who became Secretary of Energy really maintained the 4-year term that a lot of other cabinet level secretaries weren't able to, because he always stayed behind in the apprentice
Under
role.
the radar, yeah.
You're the boss and you can fire me. And so as long as you do that, and of course we saw with Musk, and now we're seeing a lot of rumors about Vice President Vance, where if you start taking the limelight from the star of the show, you don't get to say you're fired. Only the boss does. You're the apprentice. Everyone else is an apprentice. And so I think there is some qualitative aspect of Trump sort of moving him out, but there's also the pragmatic aspect. I wondered why President Trump kept the presidency the first time, because once you have access to these records, once you have access to this financing, once you've removed the individuals who are investigating or otherwise litigating against your companies, whether it's Starlink, X, or Tesla, why do you need to stay? You've secured your financing. You've gotten the data you need. Get out and make money.
If it's that nefarious, sir.
Well, possibly.
We'll never know.
Jonathan, as a Tesla owner, and obviously you were here recently talking about some of the backlash Tesla owners you guys get as a result of Musk being involved in the government. Are you glad to see him go back to Tesla and just focus on that, or your thoughts at all?
From what I hear now, the rumor is they've asked him to also step down as CEO of Tesla, or to be less of a face. I think as an American, or as a Texan, I'm sad, because how are we supposed to attract these brilliant minds to this job if all we do is scrutinize them and attack them with our own insecurities, and we kind of project that on this image for this public service job? I don't even think he's making any money. So as far as I'm concerned, he's volunteering, doing hard work. And I'm sad to see a brilliant guy have to be faced with this kind of scrutiny, have to step down.
All right, Lucy, we saw Tesla lose 13% of its value since he went to Washington, D.C. As Jonathan said, are they looking to push him off, take a side role at Tesla when he leaves the federal government?
Tesla's board has a duty to its shareholders. It has an obligation to maintain its value and increase its value and add value to the shareholders. They have to do whatever is best for the shareholders. If that is pulling him back, then so be it. I think so long as he is hurting the value of the stocks and damaging the product through its image, I think the board has an obligation.
And in 10 seconds, do you think he will take a back seat if the board tells him to?
No, and he's already demonstrated he's gotten $1 billion valuation on another company by selling one company to another. He's going to make money for himself.
All right.